Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. I'm Shinwa Kimbaloye in Lagos. The reasons for President Muhammadu Buhari not assenting to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill has perhaps changed the conversation and the trajectory of the 2019 elections slightly. Analysts, lawyers, and political thought shapers differ on the issues. In fact, opposition PDP has agreed and back in the National Assembly to override the president's decision. Tonight, we should dig deeper into that issue. But first, let's remind you of how close the polls are to us. The 2019 election is 68 days away. Check out our countdown clock right here on Channels Television. The all-important general elections is fast approaching. Tonight, we put our spotlight on the Lagos politics. The nation's commercial capital has had some of the most intense and intriguing politics in the past years. From those willing to retain power to those who are working hard to create an upset in the dynamics of the Lagos politics. They may have been in the same political family before now, but the tussle for the political control of Lagos State has always bring some dynamics. Look at who wouldn't want to control where the commerce of the nation is headquartered. Africa's fifth largest economy is usually the sweet bride of politicians. From the left to the right of the political philosophies, Lagos governor is simply the golden boy in the league of the nation's governors. Tonight, my guest is no stranger to the contest of Lagos governorship seat, a pharmacist whose activism also spurred him into limelight, and his foray into politics is not secret to those who have been following for some time. Mr. Jimi Agbaje, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos, joins me now on the program. Thank you so much for coming on the program, Mr. Agbaje.
Thank you for having me, Shil.
Let's begin by looking back at, it's interesting to ask you this because it was an interview I had with you, and you told me that that will be your last in 2015. You said you were not going to run again. This time around, you're running again.
Well, you remember that interview was conducted not after the results of the elections. We left the polling booth, and you followed me to my house, to my home, and asked me the question. So you have to put it in proper context, because a lot of people believe that the interview was done after the results were announced. It wasn't then. It was on that day, though you aired the interview after the results were announced. And so that was the context in which people saw it. But having said that, yes, it would be correct to say that I did not plan to run again. But, you know, there are many things that happen in life. I like to give the example that on a day you feel that you're not going out, you want to spend your weekend at home, and you've decided you're not going out, and then something happens and you change your mind. I think it's the same principle that I would follow, that yes, even though I didn't want to run, I felt that we could get, after my run in 2015, if I didn't win, would get younger person to run. But in all honesty, I've spent, the last 2 years, 3 years, trying to encourage younger indigenous Lagosians to see who would be able to run, that we would be able to back up. We unfortunately didn't get any. And for me, Lagos could not continue in the way it has been running. And so I say, well, if I can't get in, all the young ones or you younger ones were running for president, but none of them is indigenous Lagosian. So we couldn't get any. And so we decided that, well, why not? And things have changed.
So you're asking Lagosians to trust you. Although you said you were not going to run, but now that you are running, let's change your mind. You're asking Lagosians to trust you.
It's not a question of trust. I mean, that you say you're not running and you say you're running, it's not a question of trust. It's a question of passion. It's a question of believing that, look, something is not, Lagos deserves better than it is having.
Because he looked at the time that you gave up on the fact that, well, if this didn't work at the time, maybe I should just,
that's what I mean. And that's why I said
so,
the context. You're looking at it at the context that the question was asked after the results. It wasn't asked after the results. It was asked, I left the polling booth, and if you go back, you will see that the question was asked as I got home. So it had nothing to do with losing or winning the elections. And that's why I'm saying that it's got to do with passion. I mean, what we do every time, what I've done for the last 4 or 5 years, is to encourage the youth to keep pushing. So I'm not the one that will say I will give up. But I would willingly say, look, maybe something else would happen. And I think even in that interview, I did say, and I've said at many interviews, that there are many ways to be relevant, there are many ways to serve. But then, having said that, Lagos must get something better than it is getting today.
And you think you are the real deal
Definitely.
this time around?
I
What
was,
gives you the
I
confidence?
was in 2015. Like I like to say, I was not declared winner in 2015.
You think you won in
Hey, let's just
2015?
leave it like that. I'm a sportsman, and therefore, when you play a game, you could score a goal, and the referee says it's not a goal, and you accept it. So in that sense, I would say I was not declared winner, and the rest is history.
2007, you came as a very vibrant candidate. I mean, you were popular. JK and your jingle was all over the place. This time around, you're coming with yet an acronym for your campaign. You're saying you are going to free Lagos.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Wow, I could be here all day talking about free Lagos. Let me start from the basics of the Freedom of Information Bill. Lagos is still run like a closed shop. It's like a private company. Lagos has refused to domesticate its Freedom of Information Bill, so we don't know what plays out in Lagos. So we're talking of freedom in the sense that we want to be able to have access to exactly how they're running our government. We talk about freedom. We talk about freedom where in the last 20 years, Lagos has spent some 7 trillion naira. And we're asking, what have we got for 7 trillion naira? Have we got value for money? Now, out of that 7 trillion naira, there's a private company that takes a percentage of that 7 trillion. And we're asking, for what purpose?
What private company is it?
Well, there's a private company, fund collector, alpha, beta, or whatever, collects that much, we don't even know what the percentage is. It could be 12%, it could be 10, it could be 8, it could be 6.
But
takes
is it a legal company that collects a legal fee, or is it a company that siphons money that's belonging to the state?
It's not about being legal. It's about being moral. Because if you tell me that every amount of money that Lagos collects or spends, there's somebody that is collecting, or there's a private company that is collecting, and I'm asking, that's taxpayers' money. And I'm saying, why should it be? Now, to what purpose? Now, these people that collect money, we don't see them. We don't see their staff. When people collect taxes, it's Lagos State Inland Revenue Services personnel that come. So what is the purpose?
Or is it against standard practice?
It is against standard practice because we don't see what they're doing, and we don't even know what the percentage is.
So you're saying they don't add value?
Well, I don't see value for money. Let's put it like that. So it's freedom from that. It's freedom from
the alpha beta that you talk about.
Yes.
The alpha beta company that if you become state governor of Lagos State today, you will terminate their engagement with Lagos State, even though if it's legally acquired.
It's not about being legal. It's about value for money. It's asking ourselves, what exactly are they doing?
So the question I'm asking is, if you become governor of Lagos, should he become governor of Lagos today? I understand that the engagement of that company to collect taxes or to engage in tax collection on behalf of the Lagos governor is tied to the law. And so what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, but don't forget that this is the kind of freedom we're talking about. A law was made for waste management, and the same company was tied to the law. That's what we're saying. It's freedom from godfatherism. It's freedom from arrogance. When you make a law and you put a private company in that law as the recipient, I mean, that is the height of it. And that's what we're saying, that it's freedom from bondage of so many things. So many.
Is this still a feud that you've had with Bola Tinubu since you left the party at the time to the UDP, I guess, that you ran DPA. DPA that you ran
there was never a feud.
in 2007?
I think it's very wrong to say there was a feud. There's never been a feud between myself.
But you were angry with him.
Angry?
That he had a candidate that some of you said was premeditated at the time.
No. It wasn't about anger. It was about principle. Don't forget that even after that, I mean, offers were given to me. It's not about that. It's about principle. It's not about anger. I don't have any feud with anybody.
So you are still friends with Bola Tinubu?
We're not enemies.
But are you friends with him?
Well, yes. I mean,
you were together. I mean, you were political allies.
We're political associates.
At that time?
Yes. We're in the same camp, yes. And then in 2007...
You fell out?
Well, I felt that the way politics, the way democracy was being practiced by him was not the way I understood democracy to be practiced. And so I took the option of opting out.
So because some of his critics are saying that you are attacking him. So is this about Bola Tinubu?
No, I'm not attacking him. And I think we have to get it clear. It's not about me. It's about the people of Lagos. I'm saying that Lagos deserves better. I'm saying that what we're running today in Lagos is a one-man's Lagos. We're running a Lagos where somebody says when he's going to bed that Lagos is going to bed. And we're saying that that can no longer be. That Lagos must be about the people's Lagos, not one man's Lagos. So it's not about me, it's about the people. It's about saying that we must have a say in what is going on. So that's why we talk about freedom, we talk about democracy. Look at what has happened in recent times. If you look at the way they handled their own primaries, for example, they messed up democracy. They turned it upside down. But you know, it's not about them. It is Lagos that is suffering because since those primaries, governance has come down to near zero. So you find that there's no incentive for those in office today to perform. Who is suffering? It is the people that are suffering. So traffic gets bad. Everything is getting bad. Waste is getting bad. So that's the downfall of not practicing democracy. And I can go on and on. We're losing money. We're losing opportunities for Lagosians. So it's not about me. It's about the people. So and that's why I say that the campaign or the election is really a campaign between the people's Lagos and one man's Lagos.
And that one man, you're ready to free the people of Lagos from him.
That's well, we're ready. We're the people. We're ready to give the people back Lagos. Let's put it like that.